Good evening. Patrick here. Have Cheetah will view 8 questions with. All right. It is a very warm and sunny in here in southeastern Michigan. It is nice and warm, toasty. You could even say it was toasty. Uh, it's 8 o'clock and it's 87 degrees. So that should tell you how warm it is. Let me try to situate this a little better. That looks a lot better, actually. All right. So, welcome to the show. Um, we'll be talking to Darion Glover from the YouTube channel Magnificent Germany with Darion. This is our monthly Creators Week. Started doing that after we did a Creators Month and had such a fun time doing it that I thought I'd go ahead and do Creators Week every month that we do the show. Hey, Jaden, how are you, sir? Glad you're here. Of course, I come up with this great idea like right before I go on vacation next month, right? So we'll be taking August off, except for Sunday nights. I'll be doing the Midnight Society and the ISC show, but the interview show will be on break for August. But we will be back. We will be back in September. And yes, I already booked the first guest for September. I already did. I couldn't help myself, right? Hi, Brene. How are you? Glad you are here. We'll be talking to Darion. He'll be here in about 15 minutes or so. So, yeah, this is gonna be a fun Creators Week. We got Darion today from Magnificent Germany. We have Greg Harris from Fit for Expedition tomorrow. That was a rescheduled interview, and I got to tell you that fate worked it out really well because I much rather would have like talked to him now than back then because the whole dynamic of economics here in this country have changed, and I want to it's affecting a lot of van lifers, and so I definitely want to talk to Greg about that tomorrow. Him and his wife they're about ready to go. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they're not that far away at all. Not that far away from completing their build. They're building out a box fan and before hitting the road. But back then, who knew the economy would take such a beating and gas prices to be through the roof, right? So it's gonna be a very interesting interview tomorrow with Greg here on 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, we're talking to the lovely Betty J. Gathers. She will be here on Thursday, the 21st, and we are going to have a good time, and we are going to be talking. Betty is a sensational soul, and if you haven't met her yet, you'll really like her. You'll really like her quite a bit. Hey, there's our good friend Michael, also known as Heroic Waffles, the best channel name on YouTube. Definitely my favorite channel name on YouTube. Heroic Waffles in the house. So he'll hopefully he'll be able to hang around, but I have a feeling he'll probably be leaving us to watch the baseball game. It's the All-Star game tonight. We're rooting for the American League. That's right. I think Waffles is rooting for the National League since he's a Mets fan. Hey, Darion, there you are. I sent the link to you on your. I sent your link to you through your email as requested. Hi, Daniel. How are you, sir? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. That's right. See, you're gonna root for National League. I don't know why would you root for the National League? The American League has the Yankees in it. Thank you very much. Hell, you should have thrown out the All-Star and National League All-Stars against just the Yankee team itself. That's just it's just a fan talking, of course. Well, yeah, welcome, Daniel. Nice to meet you, Mets. I think we are going to get our Subway Series this year. I'm excited for that. That will be very exciting. Very exciting if there's a Subway Series. We're going to have a 4-game set in the middle of the season, and then we're going to have a 4-game set in the end of the season. And then we're going to have a 4-game set in the beginning of the season. And then we're going to have a 4-game set in the middle of the season. And then we're going to have a 4-game set in the end of the season. two at Yankee Stadium and two at the AAA place, City Field. But uh, so yeah, so Darion. Oh, you know what? You know what? Let's go get him. Let's go get Darion. Let's get this thing going early, shall we? All right, let's do it.
Howdy, howdy.
Greetings, greetings.
How's it going?
Good, good. We are live, and I said, you know what? Normally wait to 8, but you know what? We'll just make a little small talk, and then wait for everybody to catch up to us.
Sure.
Um,
I was confused because I thought it was 8, and then I was looking, and then I looked, it said you were live. I'm like, wait a minute, am I supposed to be there?
yeah, no. I generally always go up about 15 minutes before 8 o'clock,
Okay.
so I can just do the warm up, and I can, I'm riffing with Waffles here on baseball, and talking to Bernays here, and
Renee. Oh, hey, Renee.
I think she's saying good. I think she's saying good evening, isn't she? Guten
Probably.
Abend.
I
Abend?
can't see. Guten Abend. Yes, that means good evening. Guten Abend, Frau Renee.
Look at that. See, I knew all those Hogan Hero episodes would come in handy.
There you go. It sure does. Absolutely. Yeah,
Uh,
I'll let my subscribers know that you had a live tonight as well. So folks, if you have not subscribed to my friend Patrick, make sure you do so.
yeah, thank you so much. I have been really looking forward to this, and I know a lot of people get confused by this when I ask for interviews, and then we'll set it up, and then it seems like I go Casper on them. I just ghost. I don't. I never ghost. I don't really like to. I don't really like to talk to a guest, because what I want to do is I'm going to keep the conversation completely organic. So when we start chopping it up, we're chopping it up, because this is a non-scripted show.
Hey, that's how
Anyway,
I roll. I like that.
yeah, we don't. I don't do any scripted questions. There's no script. We just, once the bell rings, we're talking.
Ding
And
ding.
yeah, and I know a lot of people are. A lot of people. This is really what I really want to talk about. This is why I reached out to you, because I have so much respect for the fact of what you do and where you take your groups at, and just I'm grateful for you and the service that you do for that, because a lot of tour groups, a lot of tour guides, all they do is they go to all the hot spots. They go to all the beaches, the shopping malls, the rides, all the touristy places.
Sure.
I absolutely love the fact that you mix your group by teaching and sharing and remembering. And
Sure.
I just have so much respect for that, because I don't hear that very often when I hear about people taking tour groups on going to places. And I definitely want to chop it up about that, because I really like to know. I'd like to see what kind of I'd like to see what's with some of your guests. Some of the tourists you lead. I just want to hear about their reactions.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
I tell you what. Yeah, I love. First of all, I'm a proud American, and very proud American. And but I'm also proud to say I love Germany. I'm also proud to say I love this earth. Because there's so many different places in the world. I'm attached to Germany. I spent 6 years of my life there in Germany. 4 years as a kid, 2 years as military myself. It took me 19 years to get back in 2008, and no Germany for 19 years. Then in 2008, I went back, and I just completed my 22nd trip back to Germany, and about to make it 23 in a little bit here. But first of all, I help people with itineraries. I do it. I set up their airlines, hotels, um, anything and everything. Transportation. I don't take no money. I don't want no money. First of all, I do it as a hobby, so I don't charge anything but a smile. But I do all the work for them. I say, hey, contact them, pay for their airline tickets here, and like that. I don't touch one red cent. Don't want to. And but I ask them, hey, what do you want to see? You want to see city, town, history? What type of history? Pre-World War II,
yeah,
post-World War II, and even further back, even before the Germanic
Mhm.
states went in German, so all the way back to the Vikings. I mean, it's really really interesting to see how far back it really goes.
Oh
The
yeah.
old world. And
The tribes were in Germany when Rome was still a world power.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And some of the people's some of the reactions I get now. With that being said about the itineraries, also offer, hey, if you want to go to Germany as a group, let's go as a group, and I'll lead the group, and based on what they want to do, I'll put out what they want to do, and then we do that. Now some of them, they want to see the whole the bad stuff, some don't. It's more like it's more I probably say 80-20, who wants to see it, and there's a few that don't. Um, However, I'll give you an example. Now, Dachau concentration camp, okay, it's a horrible place. I mean, it was it really happened. Millions and millions and millions of Jews were killed there, and not only Jews, but other folks,
Yeah.
political prisoners and whatnot. It was a horrible, horrible place. And I've been there, last I counted, I think it was 17 times, because I take people who've never gone before. And I warned them before, this is a death camp. This is where people came. They worked them to death, and a lot of people died there. And you still, you can feel death when you go through there. I mean, I feel evil when I go through there. I can just feel, it's like layered. And but I had this one lady. I explained to her and everything what it was about. She said, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine." She had a um, meltdown
Yeah.
when she got in there and saw there's a place in there where they have all these pictures. And she got halfway there and she just had a meltdown, and we had to get her out of there.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, some people that embrace it as far as um, wanting to learn more. It was a horrible time. There's a gate on there, on the front. It says "Work makes you free." It's in German. That was there. Um, the When you first walk in, there's a big like moral thing. It says we do this so we will not forget. Never want to have history repeat itself again. So that's what's very important to see that. And
That's what the Jewish people, that's their motto is never again.
never again. That's right. And the Germans right there in that area, it's mandated that every child, I think in fifth grade, has to go to a concentration camp, whether it be Dachau, Buchenwald, or it's mandated. You have to attend. Um,
Now,
but
isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic? The German people do that for their students so they don't forget. And
yes,
over here, we're doing the reverse.
right. Isn't that the truth?
Isn't
Yeah,
that something else? The
that
teachers are
is
not allowed to talk about the Civil War. They're not allowed to talk about slavery or the injustice of it. Isn't that
right.
something? How the hell do we get so backwards, Darian?
I don't know. This started. I don't know when it started, but it, just it seems like we're declining each and every generation. Not even generation, each and every year.
Yeah.
You get people that don't care about, like, don't respect. I think the level of respect for our fellow human being is going out the window. Respect for authority. Now it goes both ways. Now I'm a firm believer. There's good police officers. There's a million of good, but there's some that are not.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to be addressed. Sure, that needs to be addressed. But there's ways of doing it where you're not putting our flag down or putting the whole police force down. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think it all boils down to respect, respecting each other, respecting law, and that's what we're not seeing. I don't know if it's some music that we're hearing, movies that we're watching. Um, I don't know, but you can't blame it on that. It's all individual.
Yeah. It's just yeah. there's probably a few common denominators, but overall, you're right. It's just a mixing bowl. It's just so many ingredients have been poured into it. Um,
Sure.
it sort of makes you. I mean, you really look at your. I mean, you ever sit down and just think about that for a minute, what you're doing for people, and then now you're doing it for free. On top of
Yeah.
that, I mean, at least teachers make some sort of money. You should make some sort of money out of this because it isn't just a I mean, I know it's a tour guide. I know you're having fun. I mean, I understand that,
Sure.
but but yours is different because it's like it's so much more important. It's not like leading a tour group to Hawaii, or leading a tour group to Alaska, or anything like that. It's more powerful than that. It's like sure every region have its history. It does have its history, but I don't know why, but this is it because it's tied so much to America because we've seen the rise of fascism in our own country.
Yeah.
And because we're forgetting that here. And it's like when I see you taking people over there to remind them from America, like don't forget this. Look at all these cities you see around you. They had to be rebuilt. They had to rise again.
Exactly right.
We think of 9/11 as one day. Well, under a madman, they had to undergo that for 4 years,
Yes.
and horrible. It was horrible. Um, but then again, there's part. I mean, do you ever just sit down in the dark and have cold drink in your hand and just think about what you're doing and how you're doing it? Do you ever just sometimes just like just shake your head, maybe even just cry a little bit?
Actually, yes, because I think it's important for people to know, the good and the bad and everything. Our country, we have some some bad stuff, and we got to learn from that too. Some of the stuff it happened. It's embarrassing. How can someone treat someone differently because they got a different color of skin? That,
Yeah,
that that's that's embarrassing. That's barbaric. But um, but we learn from that. And we're seeing we're seeing some of that coming back up where we don't want that. We want everybody. I don't care what color you are, pink, purple, black, red, yellow, green, whatever. To treat everybody with respect. But when it comes back, what you ask, I enjoy helping people. I'm a people person, and I have a passion for being in Germany. I love the people, the culture, the food, and this thing called spaghetti ice. That
I
ice
love that
cream.
picture. Is that what
Oh,
in there in the spaghetti ice when the picture I used?
so
Or
again,
you or was that the picture that I used for the show? You're sitting eating.
absolutely. That's
Yeah,
spaghetti ice. It's a plate of ice cream, bowl of ice cream that looks like a plate of spaghetti, and it's wonderful. I love telling everybody about my spaghetti ice because I had it when I first had it. I was a kid, and and then of course when I was in a military station over there, and then of course I eat it almost about every day when I'm traveling to Germany. But if you don't mind me saying, I actually met the inventor of spaghetti ice at this last trip.
really.
Yes, that's
Did you
coming
show,
out.
did you show, did you show him did you show me a picture?
I did. I did. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a little. His name's Dario. Okay, Dario Fonatella. Right now, he's an Italian guy. His parents immigrated to Germany in the mid '60s, right around there, where they opened up a ice cream shop in Germany. That the Italians brought the gelato, to Germany and stuff. And in 1969, when Dario was 19 years old, he was trying different stuff to make ice cream different. Like, oh, let's make a ice cream look like a hamburger, and then you remember, hey, I got this potato maker or spuzzer maker, which is a like noodles, pasta. I wonder if I can make it look like spaghetti. Well, he tried it and was like, oh wow, let's put whipped cream in it, and let's put whipped cream on the bottom, nice chill whipped cream. Let's put the ice cream through, strawberry on there, white chocolate on top, and all that, and did it, and it was a hit. It was a hit, and all these years later, now remember when I said his name's Dario, Dario.
Yeah.
I'm Darion.
I,
Go figure that.
I was just gonna ask you, like, now that now we know that you're also an influencer, because I don't know about anybody else, but I love that picture. That's why I grabbed it and I'm like, that is such a awesome picture. There's a guy who's really enjoying life right now. We got to
Oh, you
throw
got
that
that
up.
right.
We definitely got to throw that up there.
Yeah,
Um,
give me a
yeah,
bowl of ice cream. I'm happy as pie.
yeah. I think this guy he should give you like a pass. Every time you come in, after you tuck away everybody to bed, then you go over there and flash the card and get reward yourself for a hard day's work.
That's right.
Uh,
Well, what happened
then
was,
bring the tourists back for that, but after you get yours first, right?
yep, there you go. When how I met him was, I was okay. I was just in Germany a few weeks ago, and I had a YouTube meetup there in Garmisch, Germany. That was my first European YouTube meetup, I've had two meetups here in the States every March in Helen, Georgia. I got another one planned for for next March. And you can find all those events in my group page on my Facebook group page, which is the same name as my channel. But I was let me see, Eric, my friend Eric, traveling with Eric B, travel adventures with Eric B. We met up over there and everything, had a blast, had a great time, and had a good time. Our meetup got messed up a little bit because the G7 summit was happening right there in Garmisch, which messed up transportation, messed up everything because they needed to house all these 18,000 police side German police, American soldiers, German soldiers to protect all these world leaders. It didn't go out like I wanted to, but 5 people showed up, and I'm happy as pie with that. We had a bunch of people they called and said, "Sorry, we have to cancel your hotels because the police needs it. They need a place to stay." So, which is just one of those things that happen. But
Yeah.
we had a blast anyway, and so it was time to Eric and I to leave. Eric went to Paris, and I went on to Mannheim, Mannheim, Germany. That's where it was invented. It was invented in Mannheim, Germany, and I met my friends Angie and Sven. They live in Germany. YouTube. They have a YouTube channel too. It's called Baratica's Around. He's German. He's tall. He's probably 6'1", maybe 6'2", and she's like 4'9". Filipino lady. They met in Australia. She's Filipino born, grew up in Australia because her dad was a doctor, and Sven, her husband, was attending college classes in Australia, and they met because he sat in front of her because he's so tall and said, "Excuse me, can you move?" And then they fell in love. They've been married 25 years, got one adult kid and one soon to be adult next year. Great couple. But we were meeting them. I was going to meet them in Mannheim because they couldn't come to Garmisch because they canceled the hotels. So we met up in Mannheim, went out to eat and all that stuff, and we have planned after we eat to go to the ice cream cafe and have spaghetti ice and hopefully meet Dario Fonatello. Well, by the time we got there, it was closed and whatnot. So, long story short, the next day it was just me. I woke up out of the hotel, and everything. I said, "I'm going for a walk. I'm gonna go find this place." Well, I went to the location, to the exact location where spaghetti ice was made back in 1969. Everything. I don't want to be all starstruck, so I sat down. There's tables outside and everything. I said, "Hey, can I get a spaghetti ice, please?" And everything. And I asked one of the waiters there. I said, "Is Mr. Fonatello here by any chance?" He goes, "Oh no, he's at another location." I'm like, really? Darn, I could eat another spaghetti ice. Go find it. Oh, okay. Well, and so he gave me directions to the place. Well, I walked. It's about a block and a half. Wasn't far at all.
Oh
And
wow.
I went and I sat down, and the waiter came up to me. His name's Reno. And you'll see him in a future video. It'll be a couple of weeks before I put that out. Get that put out. I'll put him in order. I ordered my spaghetti ice, and I said, "Hey, by any chance, do you have is Herr Fonatello there, Mr. Fonatello?" He goes, "Yes, but he's very busy." I said, "Okay, well, please don't bother him if he's busy. I don't. If he's busy, he's busy. I was happy just to be there. And
Right, right.
and he asked me the question, why? I'm like, oh. So I pulled out my card, which my card I have. I thought I have one here. It's just like this. Like this. My name's Darion. I got my Eat Me
Oh,
Spaghetti.
yeah. There you are. Are you eating?
Yeah, that was taken in Munich, Germany a few years back, that picture.
Uh-huh.
And I got another picture recently made, like week and a half ago, standing in the same spot. But I handed him this, and he goes, "Oh, spaghetti eye." I said, "Yeah." Then I explained to him, "Yeah, I had it as a kid. I grew up with it, and then when I went military in the '80s, I was stationed in Germany, spaghetti ice and everything, and I have a YouTube channel, and I talk about spaghetti ice all the time." And
Wow.
he goes, "Amazing," like that, and he barely spoke any English. He was like, but he could say amazing. He was amazing. So he was gone. So I figured he's gonna get my spaghetti eyes. It wasn't 2 minutes later, Patrick. I'm sitting there, okay, and I'm looking. And I see this guy walking up with a big plate of spaghetti eyes, and I saw the spaghetti eyes. So I was like, wow, that's a big plate of spaghetti eyes. And I'm looking again. I was like, hey, that's Dario Fonatello. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I'm just sitting there, I'm cool. I'm not, I'm cool. And then he starts walking towards me and breaks down. He goes, hello. I went, Mr. Fonatello? He goes, yeah. I was like, whoa, pleasure meeting you. And he goes, my employee told me about you. So I made your spaghetti eyes personally. And he said, I gave you a little extra.
Yeah, give me a
So
little.
I was like, what in the world? And so I took a little small video. I asked him, can we take a picture and a video, like a 19-second video? And we did side by side. That's going to be in that future video and everything. But the inventor of spaghetti ice, Dario Fonatello, took out his phone and subscribed to my channel right then and there. It's hilarious.
Wow.
I
You know what?
couldn't believe it.
Now, when this is all happening at the end of it, did you just sit there and start thinking that, I feel like Charlie and I just met Willy Wonka?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it was wild. And he was so down to earth and very, very appreciative. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. He spoke very little English, but I could pick up German. I picked up German over the years, and it was just really, 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 really neat experience. And like I said, the man told the waiter, the man, he says, he's busy. I said, well, hey, I'm fine with that. Don't mess with him. I don't want to. I don't want to
Right.
mess with nobody being busy. So
Sure.
but
That's
it
so
worked out
cool.
great.
Yeah, that's got to be so much fun. Let's see. The chat is asking, hi, Tommy. Did I miss the explanation of what is spaghetti? Yeah, but the beautiful thing about it is, Tommy, is that we have replay. So, and it's not that far along into the interview, so you'll be able to hear that story in its entirety. Plus, we're going to be talking about it some more, I'm sure. Um, yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about it because I'm sure, because that's one of the beautiful things about doing an interview show. Is you can always go back and touch bases. But
Absolutely.
let's go back and touch bases with you when you first started, because how you explained how you explained your love of Germany. You lived there 4 years growing up, and then you returned there as a member of the military. So let's talk a little bit about you growing up. Where did you grow up at?
Sure. As a matter of fact, I grew. Well, I spent 4 years of my young kid life, 76 to 79, in a place called Gießen, Germany, and that's where I spent 4 years. 4 years of my life. My dad was stationed there in the military in the United States Army. And by the way, just to throw it out there, tomorrow, or what's today? Tuesday, Friday, I have a video coming out on my last trip to Gießen, and I have a premiere on this coming Friday, and it's on Gießen. So it's funny that you mentioned that. But so I was there from, let me see, third, fourth, and fifth grade. So part of second, third, fourth, fifth, part of fifth, so somewhere around there. And it was I just have a lot of memories of during that time, and where spaghetti ice came from. We on Wednesday nights we would be at church, and Wednesday night the whole church would go to this ice cream shop after church, and he would stay open because he knew Americans would come and eat spaghetti ice or ice cream. And I saw is that spaghetti, and everything. And so my first bite, I was probably 8 years old, 7 years old, and
Love it. Love
it's like, dude, right. And so it's been a part of me. When I went in the military myself back in the 80s, I was stationed in a place called Schweinfurt, Germany, and that's the first order of business. I went to go find me some spaghetti ice, and of course, when I was stationed there, I turned on a lot of people to spaghetti ice.
Uh-huh.
And then I went 19 years later It took me 19 years, like I was saying earlier, no Germany whatsoever. I'm
Wow.
trying to get this buddy of mine to go with me for a long time, and he's one of those where, yeah, one of these days, one of these days, one of these days, one of these
Right.
days. And long story short, my wife and I got married in '07. She's my angel, and we got married in '07. And I said, hey, look, I want to go to Germany. I want to go. You want to go? She's like, sure. And so I called my buddy up, said, hey, we're going to Germany. You're welcome to come. And he says, if you promise never to ask me that again, I'll go. So I was like, okay. Well, long story short, we had a blast. Okay. And
Hmm.
then, let me see. I've been back 22 times, and he's been back 16 times.
Now,
So
okay, has he gone with you 16 times?
16 times. Yeah, it would have been more what was his work schedule. But
Wow.
yeah,
Now, I was going to ask you when he got there for the first trip together, how long did it take him to start kicking himself in the butt for missing earlier?
about an hour and a half.
Yeah, boy, he must have been limping. He must have been limping the whole damn trip.
Right. But he loves it. He loves it. He was in the Navy. He had been to Germany one time before on a ship in northern Germany, in a place called Kiel, Germany. Um,
Mhm.
he spent like three days there or something like that. But that was his stint of Germany until we started going again. So, but yeah, he loves it. I love it.
Now,
Have you
are
been to
you
Germany?
now? Did you learn to speak German when you were there? Growing up, did you have to learn how to speak German, or were you just confined to your base at the time? Did you get to go out and interact with with Germans, socially?
Well, as a matter of fact, we had this guy in fourth grade. His name was Hale Mueller. Mr. Mueller was his name, but we called him Hale Mueller. Hale means Mister. And his goal, I'll never forget the first day of the class. He was, you will learn how to count to 100. You will know how the colors, the days of the week, and you will know this and that. And but he was so fun and interactive. He wasn't all stuck up. We learned a lot from this guy. He was real. He was an older guy, but I'll never forget him. And so in fourth grade, we had a whole year, academic year of speaking German. In fact, he's the one who taught me how to say "I love you" in German. And it was Valentine's Day, and he goes, "Now go home and tell your mama, ich liebe dich." Okay, and then tell her what it is. So, in fact, I still tell my mom "ich liebe dich" to this day in German, and of course English. But I remember going home, I was so proud. "Ich liebe dich, mama, ich liebe dich," and that was neat. And then when we got in the military, when I was in the military, we had a thing called what do they call it? Head Start. Head Start. We spent like the first 3 weeks in Germany. They give you like all the phrases, how to ask for help, how to order food, get directions, stuff like that. About 3 weeks of study. During that time, you get your German driver's license too. You take your test and all that stuff. And so they just don't throw you to the wolves. But when I was stationed in Germany, I would pick up stuff, and it's stuck over the years. And the thing about it is, since I've been going back to Germany a lot lately, 22 times in the last since 2008, my German's gotten a lot better. Um, I am not fluent whatsoever, but I could definitely get around. I
Sure.
could definitely ask for spaghetti eyes. um, I can understand. I can understand more conversational German more than ever. People be talking. I can pick stuff out. This my last two trips, and this trip especially, I've been complimented. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but I've been complimented like 3 or 4 times, or more than that, of how well my German was. That really shocked me, and it made me feel good, because I'm just talking, and I could be talking to them, and they were talking, and I'll answer back, and I'm like, did I just say that? I know, and I know what I just said, and whoa, it's starting to come out more the more I go.
I think
Which
that's a general. I think that's a general rule. I think most cultures. Um. Oh, Ava's here. Hi, Ava. Ava
hey,
and
Ava.
Doug are here. Let's see. So let's see. Rayleigh says, since I got here late, did Darion tell what happened on his trip before this one? No, not yet. But we'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. Uh, I was going to mention, I think most cultures, probably except for us, right? But I think most cultures as a whole I think they really appreciate it when you make a genuine effort to learn their language. In fact, my brother will probably kill me for saying this, but I'm always on him because he lives with his fiance and she's Vietnamese, and he lives in the house. And a lot of times they talk Vietnamese, and he's saying, "I don't understand it. I don't understand." I said, "Well, have you tried to learn it? Have you asked questions? Have you tried to speak anything?" And he's honest. He says he hasn't, and it's just like, well, I think if you tried, if you gave it effort to try, or like you hear what they're saying and you ask what's the for the or at least learn some basic things like hello, good evening, how are
Exactly.
you? Are you well? Can I help? All those basic sayings. I think a lot, I think people really respect that because at least you're trying to understand them a little better, other than going up there and hearing this all day, every day. What did he say? What does that mean? You
Right.
know, because
Yeah.
I don't know about us. I don't know. I've heard this. I heard that the Americans, it's harder for Americans to learn a foreign language. It's so much harder for us to learn a foreign language than, they can learn English faster than we can learn their language.
That's true. They're brought up with it from, I think, kindergarten.
Yeah.
They mandate that too. You will speak English. That's a universal language, and that's why since reunification back in 1991, the stop signs used to say halt, but now they all look like R's. A stop sign, stop in English. You can see that worldwide now. If you, I noticed weird stuff like that, uh, but I remember when it all said halt, but HALT, which stop, and then there. But they do they if they see you trying to speak their language, they will bend over backwards to help you.
Yeah.
And but if they sense that you don't even want to try, they're done too. They're like, okay, I don't want to. I
Yeah,
don't.
I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. It's easy to say that. I don't know how to understand English. And then they can just move on down the road. I mean, why the hell would they bust their ass if you're not willing to try to meet them halfway? I'm always conscious that I've been to Mexico a couple of times, and I always was aware of, like, I didn't know how to speak Spanish. It's like it's always the back of my head. I was really young at the time, but it always stayed with me. Like, if I ever came down here again, I'd like to be able to at least, get by. Um, you know, at least try. Like you said. I
Yeah,
mean, make the effort. Yeah. So you learn how to speak some basic German and when you were there as a child. What parent was in the military? Was it your mother or your father at
it's
the
my
time?
father.
Uh,
He's retired U.S. Army.
okay. Armory, infantry, army.
Actually, he was MI last, military intelligence,
Oh,
coding,
nice.
decoding.
Nice.
He did. I think when he first went in, he was artillery, just like me. I was artillery, and but after his first enlistment, he went into MI, and a lot of classified, a lot of joint work, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, working all together. So I had a lot of respect for my dad. My dad's been gone now 25 years, and when I was growing up, way before the song came out, with that song, "I Want to Be Just Like My Daddy," I always want to be just like him because I was a kid waiting out there in the driveway to see my dad in his uniform. I'm like, that's my daddy right there. That's hi, dad. And I was a kid playing army soldier in the front yard with all the
Sure.
boys in the neighborhood, just and but I had a lot of respect for him. I miss him a bunch. Um,
Did he ever explain to you? I mean, you're in Germany and you're going to school there. How do they teach the history there? I mean, or did your dad tell you about it, or did you, you know, w-
well, the school that I went to, it was a DoD school. It's called the Department of Defense. So it was an American school, and so you had American teachers and everything, and it's American run school on a military post.
okay,
Some were off post. However, that Herr Mueller, he was of course German, and I guess I don't know what they did. He taught us once a week for a whole year. Um, there in fourth grade, but it was just like a school in the States, just over there on a military base. In fact, Tommy Dawson, he grew up over Emmergau, Germany, and he went to school there as well. Was it that or an international school? I forgot what he said. Um, Tommy, was it international school you went to, or was it DoD, DODEA, Department of Defense Educational Activity? That's what it was.
So did you? I mean, did you get to get out there and because well, they're still rebuilding still, right? I mean, I know it doesn't seem like it seems like a long time, but you were what year were you there? You were there 77,
Yeah,
76.
I was there 76 through 79.
So it was only 30 years after the war.
You're right, and I remember going by places and you seemed like old buildings. I thought they were old buildings, and my dad said, "Oh, those are for bombs," and that's when I started learning a little bit more. When I was in the 80s and parts of eastern, well, near the Czech border, there were a lot of like bombed out old buildings and everything. But now you go back there, I haven't seen anything old. They're always constantly working on something over there, always either refurbishing or whatnot. Now I will say this: back in the 70s, I remember getting so close to the Berlin Wall, the Brandenburg Gate, and everything. You could see it from a distance, and there were signs saying no one passed this line and everything. I remember as a kid, my dad sitting there. My dad was there when all that stuff happened in 1961. When
Berlin airlift.
well, before all that, or after all that, Russian, they occupied their portion of Berlin, East Berlin, the sector. They took their sector, and that we almost had a tank war right there between U.S. and Russia right then and there. I mean, they got within 50 feet of each other, and both sides were lock and loaded, ready to blow each other up. I mean, it was a bad situation. But I remember seeing that as a kid, and I'm like, what? Wow, they can't come out of the gate or not. When I was stationed there in the 80s, I did not go on the Berlin side. Of course, I probably could have only in uniform certain situations, but I didn't. But I did border patrol on the Czechoslovakian side. Well, I almost said Florida, the German side here. The German side here and Czechoslovakia, there was a barbed wire fence. Okay, we went in Hollywood. We called Berlin Hollywood because that's where everything was. But we're in the middle of the woods, border guard. This Czechoslovakia and Germany, and even back then, you get that eerie feeling. It's different.
It's you could hear the ghosts, couldn't you?
Yes. And when I went back in 08, when I took my wife with me and my buddy, we went Berlin, and it seemed you could tell the difference. It was like a black and white TV and a color TV side by side, and you could tell on the other side of all the street lights were like from the 20s on their side, and of course the west side was all up to date, good stuff. And even my last trip to Berlin, which was 2019, yeah. You see improvement, but you also see a lot of non-improvement. You see a lot of it's still dreary, and then there is a divide there. Now I've been on both sides. There's restaurants on the former eastern side, that I go to. I love Berlin. And
so Berlin's still sort of divided a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Berlin's still a little divided even today.
It's not divided no more, but you could tell where the division was. Like where the gate used to be, the big wall. There's a marker in Berlin. There's like it's like gold plated, all the way through where the wall stood. Which is as a historical perspective to go back and look at it. Wow, you're standing right here where the wall was. You put one foot in one foot in the other, and although it's all the same, never unified, but there you could see the old division. I'll say it that way, but they're completely united now.
Yeah. Those woods, though. I mean, I just can't imagine that. And did you ever feel like Did you ever really feel like it could happen when you were there? I mean, the tension was that high, wasn't it?
Oh yes, especially in the Cold War era, back in the 80s. I mean, it was a real thing. I mean, we were constantly training, constantly training. Boom, 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 boom.
I
Uh,
doubt anybody knows. I mean, we're probably in this chat, yes, but I just wonder if I just threw that term out there. I wonder what people would react to it if you just. I don't know if you ever done this, but have you ever just thrown out the Eastern Bloc or the Warsaw Pact out there just to see what kind of reactions people say? I bet you most people would look at you like, "What's that? Is that a new restaurant or is that a movie or
yeah,
something?"
especially younger generation. You know, yeah. Um, However, I know a friend of mine's son. He's a historian, and he's a walking encyclopedia. Or what can you say now? Walking Google now. You know,
Right.
but this guy, but he's in early 20s. But yeah, you're right. You know, we had a Smellum, Soviet liaison, mission oriented. Um, they give us these cards, and if you ever see a vehicle with a Russian tag, whatever, we had to call and report it, and that was pretty wild. And we saw them. You know, I saw one. It was only me. I had a group of like 3 guys with me, and everybody's seeing the whole same thing. Well, we got to report this. You know, don't know what happened, but
Did
took
did
our names.
you I mean, when you enlisted, I mean, when you volunteered, did you request the Germany to go over to Germany, and did you
Yes, I
respect it?
did. Yes, sir, I did. Uh, I did. Oh boy, did I. Well, first of all, I'll give you a little backdrop without talking your ear off.
Go,
Uh,
no, the form's yours.
when I My dad tried to get me to go in the Air Force. My dad says, I love my Army time. It's great. Said, go in the Air Force. They treat you better and everything. Better yet, go to school first, then go in the Air Force as an officer. Everything, you know, that's what you need to do. But Dad, I want to be just like you. Everything goes, son, I'm telling you, just do that. Da, 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 da. Well, long story short, I had, you heard of the ASVAB, the ASVAB test you take before you get in the military. It's a Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test, ASVAB, yeah. Well, I had scores to be a power plant mechanic on a helicopter. Okay. I could pick anything I want, almost. Okay. But I had a power plant. And my dad says, okay, I'm going to support you, son. You go in the Army. I support you. I'm proud of you. And that's all I want to hear. I'm proud of you from my dad. And he goes, but let me tell you something. At the MEP station where you go sign up and you say your oath, they're going to try to entice you into other jobs. You stick to your guns. I'm like, yes, sir. I no problem. I know what I'm doing. I'm 18 years old. I know exactly what I'm doing, Dad. Well, long story short, I'm in there the MEP station before race man. Now my dad, he asked me, he goes, you call me collect. I want to be the first one to congratulate you once you say your oath and everything. I'm like, oh yes, sir, no problem. I'll do that. Well, we get there and we're like in a physical examination room, but I had like 20 guys in there. We're all there with just towels on, no shirt. And these guys come in and recruiter type, they said, all right, guys, there are 5 slots right now for field artillery. We need to fill these. Can anyone help me? And being the leader that I was thought to be, I was like, not me. I'm gonna be a helicopter mechanic. No, 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 not me. And then he looked at me like, oh yeah, I'm like, that's right. Well, about 20 minutes later, he comes again. All right, guys, we need to get these slots taken care of. There's 4 left. One guy in another room took it. I said, well, not me. And then everyone says, not me either. And we're sort of laughing like, we ain't doing that. No way. Well, about another 20, maybe 30 minutes later, and they turned the AC up to freezing. Because I'm on, what's going on here? I know what's going on. Now I see it, but then I don't know what was going on. That guy goes, all right, guys, the first 3 people right now sign up for field artillery. This is 1987, by the way. The $5,000 bonus. I'll do it right here. Oh, Glover, come here. I'm like, yeah, okay, do I get it now? Oh, you'll get it. You'll get it. And not now, but he didn't tell me that.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I'm signing all these papers, and I'm thinking of, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking, oh, I want a brand new Silverado truck. That's a nice down payment on a brand new Silverado truck. It'd be a 1987 Silverado truck. Where did I sign? Where did I sign this paper? Not one mention about anything. He says, oh yeah, you'll get your 5,000. That's all I kept saying.
Oh,
Well, well. Anyways, long story short,
so tell us about the truck you didn't get.
that I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Long story short, um, I called my dad up, told him what I did, and he called me a nice little name. He called,
Yeah, I'm sure he was more upset at the recruiter, so because that's really dirty. That's
yeah, but he goes, "You dummy!" like he apologized later. He goes, "I'm sorry, it's all right. I tried." But anyways, long story short, I ended up in field artillery. And back to that question about Germany, when I got to basic training and everything, at the end of basic training, you have a thing called AIT where you're learning your job. Okay, you fill out a thing called a dream sheet. All right, so your dream sheet has 3 lines on it, and they say, now you're not going to get it, but put down 3 places that you want to be, 3 different places that you want to be.
right.
And so I'm like, okay. So I put Germany, Germany, Germany. Of course, none of them are different, but I
Right.
put Germany, Germany, Germany. And they got time for me to find out where I'm going and everything. And the sergeant calls me up here. He goes, "What the heck is this? Germany, Germany, Germany. What's in Germany?" I went, "Spaghetti ice." What? What do you know about spaghetti ice? I said, "Well, I was there as a kid. My dad was there." He goes, "Are you serious?" He goes, "You're supposed to go to Korea. You have orders for Korea." I went, "Oh, that's okay."
Oh,
He goes, "Go stand in that line." About 2 hours later, I got called up again. He goes, "You're going to Germany. Stamp. You go stand on this line." Thank you. So that's all I got. That.
actually, our friend Ricky is in the chat, old AF reviewers, and I guess this is something we'll talk about here in a minute too. He's in the UK right now, and the UK is actually getting obliterated by the heat wave.
Oh,
And
really? Oh, I
yeah,
did.
he's saying that he hasn't slept for days. It's so hot. Uh, have you heard anything from your friends back in Germany? How about the heat wave, or have you heard anything about that?
I have heard. In fact, I was talking to, who was I talking to? My friend Jorg and Anka. And they're up in northwest Germany, and they're talking about how hot it was. Well, that's closer to England. Um, how hot it was up there, and of course, no AC. Only AC they have is in the vehicles, maybe.
Yeah, I'm really scared. I have a lot of friends over in the UK, I'm concerned. It makes me I'm worried. I'm worried for Ricky. I'm worried for his family. I'm worried for my friend Kelly. That's just got to be that's just it's different. You have a lot of friends over there. All of a sudden you realize that you have a lot of friends that you made over the years, and then when you hear stuff like a heat wave in Germany or a heat wave in France or whatever, and before you wouldn't even think twice about it. This is something that YouTube has done here. You
Yeah,
wouldn't even think twice about it, but now here we are, or YouTubers, and all of a sudden it's like not only some of us like yourself go over there physically, but a lot of us know people there through we met on YouTube, and all of a sudden, it's not so casual anymore. Now it's like a concern. It's like, are my friends okay? Are they safe? It's really different. It's a different perspective. Um, have you heard from any of your friends over there? Are they doing okay?
they seem to be doing fine. They were saying how hot it was, and them been jumping in the water. So I know Jorg has a lake near him. I don't know if he didn't say mention about a lake, but I bet he's jumping in it.
Yeah. Yeah, Ricky, take care of yourself, man. I'll check in with you for sure.
Okay,
I
Ricky.
yeah, it's they have fires over there and everything else. One of the places I was going to ask you if you did go to, did you ever get to go to the Black Forest?
I did back in 2018, or no, it was 2019. It's 2019 because
First trip there?
yeah, it's because my friend Dana and Randall, yeah, went to the Charberg Waterfalls. That's right there in the Black Forest. Black Forest, Patrick, is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Or I would love to take you over there one day, sir. That would
I
be
would love. I would like to. I would love to. There's two things I want on my bucket list. One's Normandy. I want to walk the beaches,
right.
and the other one would probably be. I mean, I'd love to. I'd love to walk. I like to walk in Germany too. I would. I would like to see that. The reason I asked you about the about the border and everything else about the ghosts is because I'm sure you walked a few battlefields here, and I've tried telling that to people like when you walk, it's hollow ground.
Yeah,
At least it is to me. Like I walked Gettysburg, and I can feel the ghost of Gettysburg. I mean, you can hear everything. You can smell it. You can hear it. You can taste it. It's really eerie and it's really spooky.
yeah.
Um, and I was, when I was asking you when you're standing there, could you feel all that around you? And you could.
I
Uh,
close my eyes and I try to think. Now, I've been in many battlefields over there and here too. I live about 20 minutes away from Andersonville, a big concentration camp we had here in the
yeah,
Civil War. That's like 20 minutes down the road from my house. And I went there a few months ago and it's unreal. But yeah, for instance, Normandy. I walked the beaches of Normandy. I've been there um, 3 times now. And I actually rolled my pants up. It was cold. Rolled my pants up and went knee deep out there
mm,
in in a reverent way. I went splashed around the water, not like that. But I walked about a mile at least mile there, mile back to where I started, um, just in complete silence by myself. But when I was with me, I said, "Look, guys, I got to do this." And
yeah,
and um, seeing the documentaries of where I was standing, it was just it was a sea of red, of blood.
you
You
were on. You must have been on Juno.
Juneau and Omaha, Omaha,
Oh,
Omaha. The Omaha, that's the one I walked the most on. But I
okay.
have been to Juneau. I didn't get into Juneau for some reason. I think it was time. But Omaha, that's when I walked through, knee deep. Um, and it's a very, very I want to say muddy beach. You walk, you sink in sand.
Yeah,
So those guys went through
it's
a mess is trying to get off the beach because every step you take, you're sinking.
right.
They have those machine guns and all the other stuff pointed right at them, and
Oh,
I see those guys who lay down their life, you know, um, so we could be free, so French could be free, France could be free. They knew what was going to happen. As soon as those doors opened, they knew they were going to get mowed down, but yeah,
yeah,
they went there anyway, and went there, and that's highly, highly, highly respectable. And to walk the graveyard, the cemetery, you go through and you read those names personally, read those names, and I read them out loud. I didn't go through every one, but each row I went, I read the name out loud, and just for just for me, I said thank you each time I read a name. You know,
sure.
it was just hair. My hair is raising up right now. I don't know if you can see that, but it was just what word can you use? Surreal.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a, yeah, actually a perfect world. It's a perfect word.
Yeah.
It's
So
very, yeah, it's very surreal.
definitely.
Um, let's see. Let's go to the chat here. Daniel says that in Spain it was 115 degrees today. Uh, let's see.
Daniel Jose.
Let's see. It's very hot. Renee says her phone's hot too. Um, let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Rayleigh saying, can you imagine the Queen's Guards over in UK standing post and all that gear and hot? Well, hopefully some commander will not. You know, they will. Yeah. Hopefully they're not that stupid to make them walk in full gear. Um, you know, or at least much shorter. Oops. Hold on here. There you go. Wow. I'm just looking to catch up on the chat here.
Oh, no, no
Uh,
worries, no worries at all.
Let's see. Daniel Jose says he had an uncle who stormed Omaha Beach. Now, so let's talk a little bit about your goodwill toward man, because you said you always like to give back to people, and you're a giving person. Now, that must have been through your parents, right? Both your mom and dad, were they must have led by example, and if they did, or they, I know they did, but what do they do? I got my ghost is here.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I was blessed enough to have great parents. My dad's not with us no more. Um, he's in heaven. My mom's still here on this earth. I had great parents. I respected both my parents. Um, they loved me. And I have two brothers too. I'm the oldest, and they always taught us to treat everybody like you want to be treated. And that's how I am today. That's what I teach my kids. You treat everyone with respect. I don't care what color, what nationality, whatever. You treat everybody with dignity. And that's just how we live. Um, so I preach being respectful to my kids all the time. Be respectful, be respectful, and they are. They are. I hear the teachers tell me, "Oh, your son, your daughter, they're so respectful and everything." So, which makes me feel good. So I to keep it going from my parents on.
Uh, so what did you get the idea that you wanted to, I mean, to just start your tour business? I mean, you left the army. What did you do after you do the army? After you left the army, what did you do after that? I mean, did you get married and raise a family? Did you work as a career, or did you start, were you a tour guide after you got out of the army?
Well, tour guide, I use it just as a hobby. It's not my job. It's just a completely hobby. But when I got out of the military, I got on a medical. I broke my back in Germany, of all places. I was paralyzed, told never walk again. I'm walking. I'm in pain all the time, but I'm walking. Um, but I got out and I worked for the VA, Veterans Administration. So I finished with them a couple years ago. My health has turned um, not so good orthopedically and neurologically. All my organs are fine, but I got a bad back and bad leg now because I broke my leg last year in Germany, of all places. Um, but this is what keeps me going. I started YouTube to keep me. It occupies me, occupies my time. It keeps me going, keeps me not thinking of being in pain. I don't like taking pain pills. Um, I do not like. No, I don't like it. Sometimes I have to, but I don't. I surely don't like it. But I use this as an outlet. I use YouTube as an outlet, helping other people. I love to share what I love, and I got a passion for Germany. I got a passion for helping people. Got a passion for spaghetti ice. But and I like to share my passions. I don't hold back. I like to share. I guess that's a good way to sum it up.
Hobbs is sitting there saying, Darian, just wanted to say much respect to you and your family for your service. Much respect. I come from a military family as well. Thank you for hanging with us. Again, much respect.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
and he just connected with your channel.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. And what was that again? I can't see. Hobbs.
Hobbs Hoare.
I'm sorry. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll come
Uh,
check you out too.
yeah, he's got a fun channel for sure. Hobbs, he's got a. You go ahead and drop your channel, Hobbs.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, I'm with you. We need to try spaghetti ice. Is there anywhere in America that makes this? I mean, I love gelato. Gelato is like my kryptonite. I thought it used to be Haagen-Dazs until I had gelato, and then I realized it was gelato, and that was my kryptonite. I love gelato. I could just swim in it.
Big
Um,
difference too, isn't it?
it's so good. It's just way too good for its own good. Is there spaghetti ice in America? Is anybody
Yes. Yes. As a matter of fact, where I had my second annual YouTube meetup, which is in Helen, Georgia. We had two. The first one was last, well, 2021. Just had my second one this past March, and of course my international one in Germany. But in a place called in Helen, Georgia. Helen, Georgia is a Bavarian town in a mountain town in Georgia. It looks like makes it feels like you're in Bavaria, you're in Germany, little Germany, and right here in Helen. Well, there's an ice cream shop called Das Ice Cream, Das DAS Ice Cream Cafe, and I found out that they had a spaghetti ice machine, and it was on ever since then. So the last two meetups, we started out with the first day, everybody meets for spaghetti ice, and then the next day we have the highlight where we all meet at the Hofbrau house to have dinner. And but yes, that is one place there. Another place I found spaghetti ice was in Spring, what do you call it? Disney Springs, something like that. We went to go meet some other YouTubers. Blaine was with me. We meant to go meet Danny Griswold from Griswold Family Vacay, and we're going to surprise them. And they had spaghetti ice there, and it tasted really well. Blaine didn't think it tasted so good there, but
really, Dan, I might be able to find spaghetti ice in Frankenmuth. I've been to Frankenmuth many times. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
now I've been to Frankenmuth one time. It was brief. That had to be in 2017. But I did ask for spaghetti ice, but I couldn't find it. And people looked at me like, "What?"
Really?
Spaghetti ice.
Yeah, because that's like a little Bavarian type town too. They have it's set up and a lot of restaurants. Zellner's famous chicken. Yeah, I've been to Frankenmuth several times. It's a nice town. It's always Christmas in Frankenmuth, by the way.
Right.
It can be 115 degrees here, and it's still Christmas up there.
Still Christmas. That was my first time there. I remember I love covered bridges, and I saw a covered bridge there at Frankenmuth. There's I forgot the name of it. I got a picture somewhere. Me standing out of this covered bridge right there. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. How many states have you visited in the country? How many states have you been to?
How many states in America?
Yeah. Have you visited?
Oh, okay. I don't know the number. Let me see. I'll tell you the number ones I've not been to. I've not been to Washington State, which I'm going to fix that because they have a place called Leavenworth, where it's like a bigger version of Helen, Germantown. So I gotta check that out too. And Texas has one too. I've been there too, Fredericksburg. But
Okay.
I have not been to Washington State. I haven't been to Montana, South and North Dakota. Not been to Wyoming. I've not been to. No, I've been there. I've been in Wisconsin. I went to all those places. In Ohio. And Alaska. So 1, 2, 3, all but 6 states.
Wow, 44.
Yeah,
wow,
I was born in Hawaii. So,
oh, okay. How cool is that?
My dad was stationed there at the same time. Well, when I popped out, I guess.
We got another spaghetti ice location. Tommy saying Nick P found some spaghetti ice in New Ulm, Minnesota.
That's right. Yes, I knew about. Yes, absolutely. In fact, I got a card from Nick P the other day. Speaking of, but yeah, he there's in New Ulm, Mexico, New Ulm, Minnesota. That's right. And I think Blaine went there too. Went to the same one. Blaine and his wife Mallory. I don't know if Blaine's still here, but yeah, I don't know. I think they did go there because they video called me there.
You know what? This sounds like a joke, but I'm almost asking you right now. I'm thinking maybe you ought to do like a YouTube or at least an Instagram page with the spaghetti ice, and then have people submit to you pictures of them eating it and where they're eating it from. What town are they in, and just submit it to you.
Absolutely, that would be neat. Now I do have an Instagram, and it has a lot of spaghetti ice on it.
Yes, you do. And your page too. I saw that. I swear I got that picture from your Facebook page.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I
That's
sent you
all.
a friend. I sent you a friend request, and because I was going to let you know I was going to borrow a picture. So I sent you
Yeah.
a friend request, and then I went and looked at your pictures. I saw that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he looks so damn happy. I mean, this is some serious eating right here. Get that happy look, and we're like,
Very.
I know that look because that's exactly what I look like when I'm eating gelato. So,
and, and that's what that is. That's what it is. It's gelato. It looks like a spaghetti.
oh,
Not,
it's
not,
so awesome.
not spaghetti. Spaghetti. Remember
Well,
that?
at least you're not doing what Giada De Laurentiis. I was watching her, and she's saying spaghetti. I'm like, nobody
No,
calls it spaghetti. Everybody
no
calls it
spaghetti.
spaghetti.
Yeah,
Oh my
spaghetti is
Lord, have mercy.
Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how. I'm gonna see if I can get this up here. I'm gonna put. Um, I'll show you that brief clip real quick. It's only. Let me see, man. Man.
Hobbs Horror is now going to try it. You missed this earlier, Hobbs, but Darion actually met Dario Fontanella and actually was served by him a huge ass bowl of spaghetti ice. There you go.
You
I
ready for
mean,
this?
yeah, that's awesome.
Now this is going to be in a future video that's not out yet because I'm trying to
Well,
stay
good.
in order. However, this week I'm out of order, so I'm doing Gießen for Friday.
Okay.
But I'll be back in order for that. But this will be out in a couple of weeks. But here's Mr. Dario Fonatella and I in front of his shop. He's got a window with his name on it, and he's Italian now. But he's
Hello, everybody. This is Del Fontanella, the inventor of spaghetti ice. I'm so happy. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Bene, e viva lo spaghetti. Oh, spaghetti. Viva lo spaghetti. Viva lo spaghetti. Oh,
That
so
is so awesome.
nice to meet you, sir. Prego.
Okay, I say we all do a reaction video. 3, 2, 1. Like,
there you go.
uh,
That's a picture. I was in high cotton right there.
what's been your favorite? What's been your favorite food that you've discovered in your travels to Germany?
Well, I love this thing called Schweinhaxe. It's a pork shank with a gristle top. It's gristly on top. It's nice soft meat in the middle and on the inside. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. The way they fix it, and then also rouladen. Rouladen is like a rolled beef. It has a pickle in it, uh,
Okay,
and some type of sauerkraut on it. And oh, it's so good. It's so good. And many other stuff. Duck. I've learned to like duck. First time I tried duck was in Germany. And in fact, I had some duck a couple weeks ago. Eric B and I, no, he had a schnitzel that night, but I that day I had duck. And then afterwards, we walked literally 25 feet across the little road there, pedestrian area, and had
uh-huh.
some spaghetti ice.
Oh, it's just amazing. That's amazing how you have a magnet for it. You know where it's at. It's like it must be like an internal detector. I'm sensing spaghetti ice is around the corner. Let's go. We're on it.
That's
Um,
right.
Now, talk to us a little bit about your very first time that you put together your first group. So how did it all come together? I mean, was it just, I mean, it had to take some planning, obviously, but what decided you to try to do this? I mean, had you had any experience at all about leading groups anywhere,
Not leading
locally?
group. Most of them were family, family and friends. I took my mom, my brothers. They were among the first, of course, two individual folks over there. It I would say you would, in order to do this, you would have to love people and realize that people are different. People have different ways of. People are just different, but I embrace the differences. I just do what I do. I like to share what I love and respect their differences, and hopefully they respect mine, and have a good time.
Is
Um,
does the term ugly American really exist? Does it really
yes, it
apply to
does.
people?
Yes, it does, and it's embarrassing sometimes to see sometimes how Americans act. I'm like, oh no. Um, in Germany, okay, I'm not saying every American, okay, but I'm saying instances that I've seen.
Sure.
When you're on a bus, okay, or on a train, usually in Americans you hear talking, blah, 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 blah. You don't hear that on a train or a plane, or a bus or whatever. But just the other day, well, a couple weeks ago, I'm on a train, all quiet, and these rowdy, they were drunk Americans were loud and just crude and just they weren't talking to they're talking among themselves. But I could tell they were offending the others. And it was me, and there was like 10, and they were all drunk, and and it was like, this is embarrassing. I said, can you guys calm down a little bit, but they sort of did a little bit, but I don't know that's embarrassing. So we get a reputation of being a loud American, which we do see. So if you're ever in Germany, and you'll see the differences. Like walking on I love public transportation overseas. It works perfectly. It's well maintained. Everything's good about it. You got direct stops and whatnot. But you would see the difference. You walk in, it's quite. You might hear chatter, but just chitter chatter. Not, hey Mike, did you hear about the thing last night? Oh my goodness, you won't hear nothing like that, But yeah. And one thing I experienced too, one of my friends, Walter's World. His name is Mark Walters. If you haven't heard of Walter's World, make sure you check him out. It's Walters, not Walters, but Walter, WOLTERS. He's been around a long time. I've known him now for 13 years.
Okay.
I've been subscribed to him now for 13 years. Hard to believe that. He was my first subscription. First I ever subscribed to anybody. I don't know what you're talking about. Subscribe. What? I don't subscribe. I've got to pay money. I'm like, oh no, it's free. Oh, okay. Now, this is back in 08. Yeah, 08. And I just got from Germany, and I'm watching a video. I'm like, here's this guy in Munich. I don't know. Well, this guy knows his stuff. And I just got back from Munich, and I've been to Munich many times. My first time in Munich was 1988. That's another story. Anyways, I said, well, this guy's great. So I subscribed to him. And anyways, years later, he made a video about ugly Americans or something like that, and how he was at Dachau, and somebody was making like selfie pictures at Dachau. You don't do that. That is so.
What were they doing? Taking selfies?
Taking selfies. Oh, look at me, and and making faces and all this stuff, and I was like, man, I hope I never experienced that. Well, guess what? I did. I couldn't believe it. It was, and they were on a tour, and their tour guide he was standing right there, didn't say a word, and everything. And they weren't American. I think they were from England, but they were young boys, okay, probably 12, 13. And they were selfies. Oh yeah, take a selfie. And they just kept doing it. And I was standing right behind them. I said, come on, guys, be respectful. This is a sacred place. They stopped. They listened to me. But there was a big tour guide. Their tour guide didn't say a word to them about that. And that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I don't think I would do very well to seeing something like that. I mean, I would try to use it for a teaching moment. Hopefully their parents were there with them, so you can sit there and say, so, because, there's a lot of Englishmen died, right where you're standing at. Yeah. A lot of Englishmen died. A lot of Englishmen are across the whole countryside. They died. They died that you could stand there, take that selfie. You're right. It's a little alarming, to see that, to see that. But, I don't know when, not to give them excuses or anything else, but 12 or 13, I could handle that a lot more than seeing some 20 or 21-year-old doing it. There's no excuse. Yeah. But you don't have that because you pretty much handpick out your crowds. I mean, your groups that you lead over, you handpick them, right? I mean, do they? Or how do they find you?
I have requirements. Some I had. They found me. Through YouTube. A lot of them have been friends of friends too, so that's helped too. But I have requirements. One is get along well with others, smile, and if sometimes things happen during a trip. A train might be missed, or uh, something happens. Okay, to me, that's part of a trip. You know, something's going to happen when you're on a trip, and if something happens, don't get bent out of shape. You know, my favorite saying in the world: "It's not the situation; it's how you handle it." You know, so if you can do those three things, smile, get along with others, and just go with the flow and deal with the situation, you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, you're there to see beautiful architecture. I mean, oh my gosh, I'm sure some of the buildings and museums are just magnificent.
Mm,
That's why you call your channel that. I mean,
right.
what are some of your favorite places within Germany proper? I mean, some of your
Well,
own personal favorites.
now, me personally, now there's certain places that must sees that are touristy. Okay,
Sure.
they're must sees for you know um, I got to go, and I got to tell you, I love taking folks to Germany for the first time. I I get joy out of that. I love seeing their faces. Wow. I took one person 4 years ago, a couple, never been to Germany. They'd been to Rome, all these places, but never thought about going to Germany and everything. Well, they went with me, and they go on their own all the time. They've been back 5 times since it was 2016 when I took them. They've been back 5 times, and they're going again this year. Um, I love seeing their faces and whatnot. But a couple places. One, Garmisch. Garmisch, Germany. Garmisch is so beautiful. I love that place. I found Garmisch through a friend of mine who told me, "Hey, you need to check out Garmisch one day and go down there." I go down there a lot. Well, I did. I went down there in 1988, and I thought I was in a fairy tale. Garmisch, you're right in the middle of the Alps. You're right on the Austrian border, right there, and you're in Germany, but the Austrian border is like right down the road. You got the highest peak in Germany called the Zugspitze. The Zugspitze, you can stand on top, you go up this mountain. There's several ways to get up there. You could climb, but this guy not, but you could climb. You could take the gondola up on both sides, the Austrian side or the German side, or you could take the cobble train up. Okay, there's several different ways, or a helicopter, but but there's several ways to get up there. But once you get up there, you can see 5 different countries. You're standing in Germany, and you say, "Oh, you see the direction. You don't see, hey,
Right.
there's McDonald's. You see, oh, Italy's this way, Switzerland's this way, Austria's this way, and so forth. French Alps is that way, and it's pretty neat to stand there and see that. And we had our meetup, and the space trip. We went up there. We had lunch in Austria. We went up the Garmisch side and the German side, and had lunch in Austria on top of the mountain. Back in the 80s, you had to have your passport to go across that mountain. I remember being up there. There's guys in Uzis, and I was like, here's my, well, at that time, I used military ID card, so I pulled out my military ID card, and that was fine. But and it wasn't nothing like it is now. They had like a little shack sort of. Now they got like a big restaurant there.
Wow.
But that's a definite. The Altspitze, which is right below the Zugspitze, you got the Zugspitze up here, and the Altspitze is here, a little bit smaller, but you're still way up there. And that's where I broke my leg last July 1st.
How did you do that? Did
Well,
you just trip on the mountain or
well, okay. Well, I got a bad back. I got a bad back. So my goal that I was by myself June before last. Okay, but this is July 1st. This is July 1st this happened, and I had never been to the Auspitze. I've always been to the Zugspitze because of timing and whatnot. I just haven't had time to go to the Auspitze. I said, I'm here by myself. I'm going to the Auspitze and everything. So my goal was I had a rental car, so I drove to it, which is like less than a mile from where I was staying at the Edelweiss. And so my goal was to just go up there, go take the gondola, look around. Okay, I'm here, and then go back down because I'm going to go swimming in the IFC. The IFC, this beautiful clear lake that's right below the Zugspitze. I swam there a couple weeks there too, and that'll be coming out too in a little bit. And that was my goal. Just go up there a little bit, say I've been there, I'm done, because I don't want to climb no mountain, climb trails, whatever. So I get up there, and I'm by myself, and I start talking to people. Go figure. I love talking. I love people. I'm a people person. Say that 5 times. And I was talking to this German couple, and they're saying, "Oh, have you heard of Sound of Music?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, I've seen many replays." Yes. He goes, "Oh yeah, well, if you look right down there, down that hill, and just take this curve, you'll see a spot where they made a scene of Sound of Music." Now, the majority, 95% of the movie was made in Salzburg, Austria. I've been there too, but that's another story. Um, but you'll see that one scene. I'm like, really? So I'm checking out the place and everything. I'm looking down at the trail. I'm looking down. I was like, it don't look too bad. I can make that. Nice wide trail. Nothing in the way. And so I said, well, thank you. So I start walking. Down this trail. Long story short, I start realizing how steep I'm getting. I didn't realize how steep I was until I made that stop and I looked around. I looked up. I'm like, I better get back going. I better get back going the other way. This is dangerous. Well, it was too late. Now I'll have to climb all this way back up. So I'm like, oh my goodness. And by that time, it's probably 1:30 in the afternoon.
You can walk back down the hill.
Well, that's what I was doing, but it was getting steeper. It seemed like I was walking on my toes. And my friend Blaine, I don't know if he's still in here or not, but I had him on a not FaceTime, but video chat through Facebook, all this stuff now through Facebook and everything. And I was showing, hey, look at this, isn't this cool? Da, 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 da. And so, long story short, I keep going, and I'm talking to him, and I said, well, hey, I got to go. Well, I happened to see the area where the scene was made, right? And then when I did that, I lost I slipped on a rock and I lost my balance. And when I lost my balance, when I slipped that rock, I was wanting to protect my back and everything. I protected my back, but because it was so steep, my leg went it snapped. It seemed like in half. I was like, oh! I called Blaine. I said, Blaine, I think I just broke my leg, my ankle, my leg. And he's like, oh my goodness, and everything. And so, well, anyways, I lost contact, lost service. So here I was for 2 hours by myself. Finally, this guy out of nowhere, from Dusseldorf. He's from Dusseldorf, Germany, coming down by himself, and he asked me, "Do I need some help?" I'm like, "Yeah, bitte helfen Sie mir, but yes, but please help me." I said, "I think I broke my ankle, broke my leg." And by the way, I'm vlogging this. I got a video of this happening. I'm vlogging when I think I just broke my ankle, which turned out to be my ankle and my leg. But
Jesus Christ.
yeah, and so he came in and he said, well, I can't get nobody. I have no cell service or anything. I have to walk down and get some help. And he said, stay put. And he said, your legs hurt really bad. I'm like, yeah, it is really, really bad. You could probably look at me like I have 20 heads on this, okay? But he leaves. He's gone for about at least another hour and a half, and he comes back, and he said, either a helicopter's coming or a mountain rescue ambulance has come. I'm like, how do I said, helicopter? I gotta refinance my house. Refinance my house if a helicopter's coming. I was kidding, but trying to keep a good thing going here. And so all of a sudden, a few minutes later, here comes this big mountain rescue. All right, big ambulance. And I mean, it was huge. I mean, it was an ambulance. Picture an ambulance with big double-sized tractor tires in this ambulance. I mean,
Okay. Wow.
I was so much pain, but I was like, man, that's pretty cool. I was taking pictures of it, everything. Well, there were the ambulance people came out, the mountain rescue people came out. They were triaging me. They were putting all that cast and everything. And that guy was standing right there, right between them, right there when I was getting. They're mobilizing me, and well, they put me in the van, and so they shut the door and everything. I said, "Oh, please tell that guy out there." I said, "Thank you very much, for all his help." And he goes, "What guy?" I said, "The guy out there in the black jacket. He had a black jacket on, standing right there." And everything. He's the one and told everybody. And he goes, "There's no one out there." I said, "No. He went down there to go get y'all. How I don't have no communication." He goes, "I don't know what you're talking about. There's no one there."
Wow.
I have no idea where. where he went. It was pitch black. I have no idea. But they took me to the hospital, and well, there was another ambulance waiting for me on the bottom of the mountain. Took me to the hospital, and the guy says, you broke your fibula and your ankle, the top portion of it. He goes, you need surgery. And I said, just wrap it up. I'll fly back home tomorrow. He goes, and he says, 9. I'm at 10. He goes, 9. He goes, it's critical because of
Yeah, I don't think you could fly with a wound like that.
no, because you get a blood clot.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. No, that was a learning moment for me. I said, can you just wrap me up? I'll go. That's no problem. And he goes, you can't. Yeah, you have no choice.
Yeah.
And so long story short, I had 6 days later, I wait till the swelling go down. I had a 12-inch plate put in me, and about nine bolts on me. And I still have it in me, of course. Yeah, it was a rough time. And
what was the medical care like? I mean, were they good doctors and nurses?
they were outstanding. They were outstanding. Oh my goodness. Oh, and the food. They give you a spazzacata. That means a menu, and you could pick all kinds of wurst, all kinds of sausages, and they even had Schweinehaxe. I'm in a hospital. I'm expecting Jello.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You got all this food. I'm like, what in the world? And they even said, "Oh, would you like a beer too?" I mean, you're in a hospital, and I said, no, just give me some Zugspitze, Zugspitze, and so yeah, it's something. Yeah, like Brian says, coming back. So I think I broke my leg. Yeah, and that was on video too, by the way. It was after that call, but I had a great view of the mountain that I broke my leg on from my bed. I could see it from my bed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If you go back to let's see, well, last July, and you'll see a thumbnail of me sitting in a chair with my leg. You'll see that vlog where I vlogged when I was walking up there. I even said in the vlog, I think I better go. I better stop what I'm doing and go back up the other way. But by then it was too late.
Wow.
It was kind of
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's why they say never hike alone, because you just never know. But wow, that's
right.
I can't imagine how that must hurt just like hell. I'm surprised you didn't yell yourself hoarse.
Well, I tell you what, and my intention was not to hike. My intention was to go up there and get in a gondola and go swimming. I'm going to go swimming. I have my backpack with me.
Sure.
And everything. But I ran into that couple who said, "Hey, you want to see the scene?" I'm like, "Yeah. Where is it?" And from way up here, it didn't look bad. It looked like it's just a nice little trail. You walk on the trail, but it wasn't like that.
Wow. And that was just a couple of years ago, huh?
That was last year. Yeah, July 1st of 2021.
How's your leg feeling today? Or is it are you still undergoing through rehab for it? Or, I mean, how far can you walk, before you getting exhausted?
I'm doing really well now. My physical therapy stopped in November. Now I can still feel it, but not like nothing like before. Every once in a while I walk on a limp, especially when it gets colder, or if I walk on it too much. I did a lot of walking my last trip, and I really felt it. But my last physical therapy was in November. I was there from July to November physical therapy here in the States. But in December, I went back to Germany. I took my wife, my kids, my sister-in-law, a friend of mine, and her daughter, and went to Germany. And then, of course, I just got back from Germany myself 2 weeks ago. So
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I've been back twice since I broke my leg on July 1st of last year.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's a harrowing experience. I mean, that's for sure.
It is. Like Blaine says here about the Darion has a piece of Germany that will be with him forever. That's true. I can say the only German I have in me is Pfizer 1, Pfizer 2, and this big old piece of metal.
Yeah, you took something back. It says here, yeah. Now, Rayleigh says, so now Darion has a piece of Germany that will be with him forever. Yeah. And Daniel's saying he remembers that day. Oh yeah. You also got to remember you got to fly first class when you broke your leg.
Yes,
So
I
flying
did.
home.
One thing, man, Patrick, I got to say this. Anytime you go overseas, now I was not an advocate of this before. I was like, you don't need it. You'll be fine. Make sure you get trip insurance when you the cheap kind. Okay,
Right.
I paid the 28.50 whatever it was when I bought the airline tickets. I never buy that thing. Okay, because I figured, oh, it's a waste of money. Well, because of COVID, the C word, I like to say because of the C word, I said, I'll spend the 28.50 just in case something happens. I won't be stuck somewhere. I didn't read anything about it. I don't know what I was getting. I just want to make sure I got come back home. Well, when they took me to the hospital, they says, do you have any insurance? I said, well, I have American insurance, but no German insurance, everything. And well, it says you're gonna have to pay out of pocket. So, oh, okay, but it's nothing like here. In the States, would have been 80 grand for what they did to me. Uh, the whole thing there was like a little over 85 just for the doctors and the surgery and everything, which that was awesome. So
$8,500. That's what he's meant to say.
yeah,
8,500.
8,500, yeah, 8,500, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so here I am. I'm like, okay, put it on my CC, whatever. Okay, here goes more payments. I'm thinking, but I was like, then I had the surgery. I only had to do half at that time, but anyways, with the surgery, I only had the surgery, and they put me back in my room, and I'm waking up, and then it dawned on me. I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't. I bought insurance for the airline, so I'm half groggy. Okay, waking up from being out of it and surgery stuff, and I call this the 1-800 number for Europe for this Alliance Insurance. Yes. I said, hey, my name is Darren. Went through all the stuff, and I said, well, how much coverage do I have? And she goes, well, you do have coverage. I said, well, how much do I have? He goes, oh yeah, you have 18,000 in medical. You have no 20,000 in medical, 18,000 and travel insurance and all this stuff. I'm like, what? She goes, what's going on? I explained the whole thing, and she goes, we can help you. I was like, oh, he goes, but you're gonna have to pay everything out of pocket, and then we'll reimburse you. I said, no problem. And
Wow.
it took 30 days, exactly 30 days, because I was on it immediately and everything. I had my wife working it, on the phone over here in the States, and I was calling there from Germany, and they
So
paid
your
it.
wife wasn't on the trip with you.
Oh, it was just me. It was just,
Oh,
yeah. It, and I did that because it took me 19 months to get to Germany. I had no Germany in a 19-month period because of the C word. And I
yeah.
always said, I'm going to be on the next plane out to Germany. And I kept my word. I'm a man of my word. So when I got to Germany, I was just asking, I said, so am I the first plane in from the States? He goes, no, you're the second. I'm like, oh. I said, when's the first one? 10 minutes. I missed the first plane by 10 minutes.
Oh,
It was still pretty cool though. But
wow.
they not only paid for all my hospital stuff. I had to stay 4 days in a hotel, which is I was right there in Garmisch, and they paid for all my rooms, all my food, and here's the kicker ticker. They paid for a nurse to fly from Florida, all the way from Florida, to come get me and escort me on a first class ticket from Munich, Germany, back to Atlanta.
Wow.
It was all included in that insurance. So when you any guys out there listening, if you ever buy a airline ticket, especially overseas, pay that $30 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It is totally worth it.
Wow. That's
I would
amazing.
I would have
That's
been
amazing.
out all that money.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad you survived.
Yeah.
Now, you mean now, and you're still back at it. You're ready to charge.
Oh,
Um, what have been you mentioned earlier about the when you went to the concentration camps and some people were reacting to it. Um, what was it like for the first time for you? The first time you walked into the camp?
It blew me
Were you
away.
part of the? Were you there? Did you go in as a military person, or was the first time there as a tourist or a tour guide?
Me by myself first. No. It was Dana. It was my friend. Um, he's a he. Um, it was him and I. Was Ray with me too? I think it's my buddy and I. We I can't remember if Ray was with me on that trip. I think it was just my buddy and I. We went and I was blown away. I was blown away, and I was thinking then, I want to tell people about this. I want people to see what I'm seeing. Experience what I'm experiencing. I'm a reader. I go in museums and I read everything. You know, I'm usually the last one out. I read all the stuff, and of course, if I
Right.
have a group of people, I'm gonna be respectful of other people's time.
Sure.
But
Sure.
I like to read and just take things in, and I spent a lot of hours there um, doing that. But it blew me away, especially when I saw the crematoriums.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
My
say
wife. My wife went there before she met me. Her and her girlfriend went there, and she had pictures of it. And she was telling me about it, and she was just like, it was just so, you know, just, she said it was one of the 10 most important minutes of her life when she walked there. There's a little bit of a Holocaust museum here in Michigan. There's one in Farmington that actually I think Steven Spielberg helped get off the ground, and
what
we
part
went
of it?
in Farmington.
How far is that from Frankenmuth?
We're about 100 miles from Frankenmuth, 130 miles from Frankenmuth.
Okay, because the reason why I was up in Frankenmuth, I was visiting a friend, and it's near Flint. I flew into Flint, and we drove to his house, Saginaw.
Yeah, okay. Saginaw, yeah. Frankenmuth is south. It's north of Frankenmuth.
Yes, because we came from Flint, the airport, and we stopped at Frankenmuth. He goes, "Hey, I got to show you Frankenmuth," and then went to his house in Saginaw. And the reason why we did that because we got a great deal out of Toronto. We drove from Saginaw to Toronto, $230 round trip to Germany.
Wow.
So it was, and I got like $100 flight round trip to Flint, and so I spent 300 something dollars for a round trip ticket to Germany, counting the flight there and back, Orlando, Florida to Flint, and Flint back, and then from Toronto to Frankfurt and Frankfurt back to Toronto. Sometimes
Wow.
you get the best deals out of Toronto. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Now, how long ago was that? Was that?
That was 2017.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna. Do you think it's gonna be harder for you to get back there? Do you think it'd be harder to get back there this time because of all the flight cancellations and the shortages and everything else like that? How you
I
on, Bob?
I don't know. I hope not. Um, Everything seems to be okay now, somewhat. Now, I did notice a difference coming when I was flying home from Munich. It took me like almost 4 hours to get through the security. It was that bad. I mean, I was there way early for that reason because I knew even before all this, I know better. Wait till the last minute, because you wait till the last minute, you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna miss your flight.
Yeah.
Don't want that. But
No, no, it's been crazy. I've been reading about that. How just completely crushed the airlines are. They can't get a staffing. There's shortage. They're turning away flights. They're canceling flights. It's just like, man, of all the times not to travel on planes, it would be now. Because like, you don't know. Now would be a good time to buy that flight insurance you were mentioning.
totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Yeah, so you
And
don't get.
I'm not paid to say this or nothing, or I'm saying I'll call folks out there, my friends. I tell my friends, like I use American Express. Those miles add up. I mean, my last flight to Germany, it was a completely free flight. Well, minus taxes. I had to pay $133.
Wow.
for taxes to get there. My next trip is going to cost me right at 6 because I still have some left over. But it's because like every other year I get a free flight.
When's your next trip? How do you plan out your trip? You mentioned before that you ask people what they want to do. So, I mean, how big are your groups that usually take over? About 12 to 15, 12 to
Biggest
16?
one was 10. That's the largest one
Okay,
because it's only me driving a van, a bunch of people, But I between seven and 10. That's a perfect group size for one person. You know what I mean?
sure.
If I ever did get a group bigger than like then I would handle it with delegate. Okay, I need another driver who would like to drive. Stuff like that. But it would work. But I look at their hey, or I might say I'm going to Germany this time of year. Anybody's welcome to go. We had a trip. Tommy was supposed to come with us September before last September. Yeah, last September. But my leg messed that up and everything. But some people they want to go in the summer, some the fall, some Oktoberfest, which is in September.
October, of course.
Yeah. So I just look at everybody's once and just go from there. If someone called me up and say, "Hey, I want to go in March," we
Right.
would definitely talk about that for sure.
So you just try to get together. Like if I called you up and say I want to go over there in March, so then you try to build a group around me. So like there's 10 or 15 or whatever, you try to build a group around me, and then we all go together.
Right, and it comes out cheaper for everybody.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
What a
so
what a terrific thing you do, and you do it all for nothing. You don't get paid for it. I mean, that's just amazing. I really truly hope. I really hope that. I mean, I just really hope that they appreciate you for what you're doing. I mean, this is a service that I've never heard anybody doing what you're doing. I've never heard a single time of a person, a professional tour guide, uh, doing this out of the goodness of his heart. His or her heart. It's an amazing thing. Like I said, I was just totally blown away when you told me this and where you take them to. And I knew I was going to have to sit here and talk to you about this. I was just so, I've been watching your videos for a while. You and I have been sub for a
appreciate that.
while. And yeah, I knew. I said, this is such an amazing story. I got to share it. Um,
Yeah,
does anybody have any questions for Darion? Before we start thinking about wrapping it up, does anybody have any questions? We'll leave the chat open there for you. Yarnbarth mentioned that her dad stormed Normandy Beach on the
so
10th,
cool.
on the 10th day after we started. Yeah, I was still very fluid back then. Yeah,
That's awesome though.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that really is.
What's funny? We're talking about World War II. I was talking about that with somebody, and we're talking about the movie Valkyrie, and they're saying like, he says,
Yes, true
and
story.
he said, they're saying that how, they're saying how the Colonel Stauffenberg had, he failed to kill Hitler, and I said, did he fail? Did he? Because to me, I didn't think he failed at all. I think he did better than kill Hitler. He got Rommel killed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, he saved tens of thousands of American and Allied lives in his attempt. He might have died in the attempt, but he saved tens of thousands of Allied lives when
Oh
Hitler forced Rommel to commit suicide.
yeah. Took the pill, the cyanide pill.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. I've been in that building. I've been in that very place where that happened. Yeah. Also been where the trials took place, Nuremberg trials in 1945.
Right.
Through there, and the courtroom looks exactly the same like it did back then. And back then, the gallows were right there. They didn't wait. They was like, "You're going to die by hanging." They took them right outside, right there, hung them.
Yeah. Man, that's sort of weird though. That's probably a talk for another time, but definitely the Nuremberg trials, and if you really think about it at first, you were thinking about it, and you realize in some sense it really was really arbitrary about who they strung up, because there's a lot more people that should have been strung up that didn't get that. Instead, they got one-way tickets to here and to Britain and to to Canada or Russia, because we took all the scientists and rocket engineers and we put them over here for their secrets. Let's see, his dad, Yarnbar's uncle, Ernie, fought in the Battle of the Bulge, and that took place in the Black Forest that you and I were talking about.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, that's incredible. The Battle of the Bulge. All right, Gary, I want to say thank you for coming out and talking with us. I definitely want to do it again sometime soon for sure. I mean, it's just an amazing story. I can't wait to see your new videos. I'm glad your leg is back.
I appreciate it.
I probably want to go back and watch it, but there's half of me wants to go watch it, and there's half of me that says I don't want to see my friend is in pain there. But what a courage, what an ordeal though. I mean, a lot of courage there to come back. I mean, a lot of people that would have been it. That could have been like, okay, I'm done, I'm retired. But
Yeah,
still,
I enjoy it so much, and that's where the passion, helps me because I love helping people, and I've had people, when I take a group, they pay my dinner or something, and I don't even expect that, but they say, well, let me at least buy you lunch. I was like, okay,
sure. Sure.
But,
Because I mean, what else? I mean, if they went as a professional tour guide or service, and they'd be paying an arm and a leg for it, they probably wouldn't get you probably get some bored college kid up there, like, okay, this is where we're going next, or get some super chipmunky. Hey, okay, gang, here we go. You don't want that. You don't want the super hyped up. Okay, we're going to Auschwitz now. All right, gang, let's go. We don't want that.
yeah, exactly.
You don't want that, and you don't want some kid sitting there going like, yeah, okay, here we go. This over there is Dresden. They got burned out. They named a band after it. Let's go to the next. Nobody wants to see that.
Wow, I like your history there. I'm impressed.
Thank you, World War II buff.
I'd be free.
It's it's just a to go over there and share the love and the respect you have for the country and the people. It's very infectious for sure. Infectious. There you go. Infectious. It's very infectious. Yeah. So I mean, I really appreciate it. And like I said before, my respect for you is just off the chain. And thank you for doing what you do.
Well, thank you so much. And may I say something, sir?
Sure.
The film is mutual. I watch your videos, your lives, and your interviewing style. You have different people from different walks, backgrounds, and you mesh together. You have I think you have a natural sense of communication, and I think you're doing a swell job. And folks out there, if you're listening, make sure you check out Patrick.
Thank you very much.
So, and may I ask you a question?
Sure.
How did you come up with that name? Have Cheetah the small.
Have Cheetah will view.
Well,
The what? The channel name, right?
yes.
Well, I have a pet cheetah, and his name is Paladin. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, he was around here just a minute ago, and so I named it after the TV show Have Gun Will Travel. So Paladin's the main hero of that series.
What? You got a cheetah in your room?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's not a full bred. He's not a full bred cheetah. He's a hybrid. He's small, but you definitely see he's cheetah. He's got cheetah speed. He's got a really sweet personality though. But yeah, no, he's it's summertime, so he might have went back downstairs. No, he's about 20 pounds, but yeah, he's a cheetah. He's a cheetah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's awesome. Some people have seen him out here. Once in a while, he'll make an appearance on the stream. He'll jump up there and he'll walk across my keyboard and stuff like that. And while I'm doing an interview, he's a hoot.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay, I'll love to see that. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, he's a ham. Yarnbarth's coming back with. I went to the Holocaust Museum in Washington D.C. Yeah, we went there to that one as well. With the man that I should not have married. He basically laughed throughout the whole tour. I was mortified.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah, I have a feeling that would have been a. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have married that guy.
that's right.
Wow.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah,
Who
me too.
said that?
Me too. Yeah, I probably would not have. I probably would have been out of there in handcuffs if I
Yeah,
would have found that. I just can't. I just can't imagine that.
it's
Can
no
you?
hard.
Isn't it? Doesn't it blow you away when you actually hear people in this country deny the Holocaust?
Yes, it does. Really does. I'm just proof everywhere,
Yeah.
everywhere. You know,
Uh, I mean, you see people parade down the middle of American streets, waving Nazi flags, and it's just shocking. It's like, wow, you know what? I feel such rage because of what sacrifice and yet those are the same people that will sit there and say, I'm all about our military, I'm all about supporting the military, and yet they'll walk down the middle of American street, waving a Nazi flag
yeah,
and wearing the gear and doing the high hail, the hail Hitler shit. And it's just like those same people are claiming they support the military. It's just you know. eh, but you know what? We got to be able to keep up the memory. We got to be able to share the stories with our next generation. What you're seeing there is not America. That's not what we are. It's not who we are.
that's right.
And so, Darion, thank you so much. The chat, I want to thank you guys so much too. You guys came out and absolutely just rock it hard today. I really do appreciate it. If you're new to my channel, please consider giving me and the Cheetah a sub. Um, hit the notification bell. Darion as well. I'm going to be leaving all your information down below in the description box.
Appreciate that.
People can come by and check out your channel and your Instagram page and anything else that you want to share with us, and including how to get a hold of you if they want to book a tour.
Sure.
Yeah,
Of course, my channel name is Magnificent Germany with Darren. I have a Facebook group page which is full of information. I post almost every day. Not only me, but people that are in the group. They post stuff about Germany. I keep it all focused on Germany. So I'm not now. I'm a huge football fan, Gator football fan, but I don't talk about Gator football on my Germany channel because I want to keep it Germany.
sure.
But the Facebook group page, that's where I put all the events. I got my next YouTube meetup is in March in Helen, Georgia. And Patrick, I would love for you to come to that. Consider coming
I
to
will
that.
do my very level head best to get down there. I really will. I will do my level best.
I saw some requests in the chat here. I hope Patrick comes to the Helen meetup too. So that's where we spend just a couple days meeting fellow YouTubers and subscribers, and just having a good time with some ice cream and some good old food, and just having a great time. And then I have another meetup coming up in Heidelberg, Germany next year. I just released the date yesterday, the official date. I was supposed to release it a couple weeks ago, but I couldn't align my dates up yet. In fact,
Sure.
I'm taking a group in June next year. I'm booked for June next year. Um, uh, is a big group starting in Berlin, going to Wittenberg, and all those places. And then right after that, I'm going to put the meetup during that time, which is July 1st or June 29th, whatever day I put on there.
Yeah, just let me know the time that when I set this up. Just let me know what time people want to, tell me how to set it up. If people want to contact you, they can, and
Yes.
the dates, and I'll put that down in the description box for you as well.
Thank you, and of course the Instagram and Twitter as well. So I got all kinds of ways to
reach out and touch you.
reach out. That's right. Little ATT. Reach out.
That's right. Before I let you guys go, I'll let you know what's going on for the rest of the week. We got two more in Creators Week here on the channel. Tomorrow night we are interviewing Greg Harris from Fit for Expedition. He will be here at 8 o'clock, and then on the 21st, Thursday, the lovely and vivacious Betty J. Gathers will be here with us at 8 o'clock on Thursday the 21st. And one note I want to let you guys know about, just in case you haven't heard it, on the 28th of July, I will be having Crystal Lowe will be here. She is a very well-known actress who did Signed, Sealed, Delivered, and she did Final Destination 3. She's done a ton of horror and family films. She's a wonderful person. She makes a great chocolate chip cookie, and she'll be here on the 28th. That's
Cool.
actually it'll probably actually be my biggest guest I've gotten so far as a named guest.
You can have some great ones too, by the way.
I'm very excited to meet her. She's just a really sweet person, and I'm looking forward to interviewing her. Of course, as long as I don't get starstruck, right?
There you go.
So Yarnbar says, very nice to meet you, Darion. Yes, we will have everybody. We'll have all his information down below, so you guys will be able to come in and connect. Stay right where you're at, Darion, and I'm going to say goodnight to everybody else. Thanks for coming, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock with Greg Harris from Fit for Expedition.
All right. Nice meeting everybody. Cheers. Oh.